Whilst having a nosy around the Birmingham Design Fair recently, we stumbled across a very flamboyant creature, one not camera shy at all, so we grabbed him for some pearls of designer wisdom. So Laurence, what do you think of the show?
I've never been here before, and it's actually really stunning because this time of year is show time of year. We were all in Frankfurt last week at Heimtex, and then it's Paris next week.
With Graham and Brown.
Yeah, yeah. And then in fact it's back here for the spring fair. So you get slight show fatigue after a while, and you start begging to see daylight. You know, kind of try to claw your way out of carpet tiles. But this is quite interesting because I mean, obviously, you know, wallpaper is incredibly trendy at the moment, and internationally, it's everywhere.
Why is that, do you think? Why
because finally the world's got taste. Finally, the world woke up and decided that it didn't want it, you know, minimalist and modern and chilly and control. Basically, I mean, yes, in all seriousness, what you find is that when communities start feeling that maybe the economy is not going in the right sort of direction, when you know, global politics are feeling a bit scary, they actually start looking to create much more, I mean, homely is the wrong word, but certainly much more enclosed, nourishing interiors.
So if that's the case, really, we're going to be wallpapering our whole houses, gardens and streets, aren't we, over the next few months?
Well, no, absolutely. I mean, you know, and in fact, there's a very much a deliberate device in this, because I think people are trying to create interiors that make themselves feel secure. And when I come to design some of my collections,
these are
some of mine. Yeah, I'm very aware of the fact that actually it's quite nice to make references to the kind of design motifs that we grew up with, but at the same time, sort of reinventing them. But you know, I mean, that all sounds kind of doom and gloom. But actually, alongside that, there's a tremendous excitement about the idea of glamour, which hasn't been in the home for a long time, not I think since the 80s. And suddenly people want things that are very sort of much more shimmering and shiny and much more sexy.
But the materials are there now. There's been such an advancement in the type of materials that you can get hold of, and the technology that makes that more possible as well, doesn't it?
But technology will also, of course, have a tremendous impact on things like the way that walls are treated, and digital printing has pushed things forward enormously. What I love about wallpaper, and it's the most significant design category that I do, is that actually it's a very British product. I mean, Graham and Brown make it here, make it in Blackburn. But actually, it was something that you know, was created for the British market back in the 18th century. So it's as, you know, as comforting, as cosy as, you know, a cup of tea. But at the same time, it can be really very, very sexy, provided I've designed it, obviously.
Obviously. When you wander around shows like this, do you find you get inspiration from what other people are doing as well?
Well, I mean, you know, a show, it depends where you are in the design cycle. I mean, to be entirely honest, I feel very much that there are a lot of people wandering past here thinking, ooh, isn't that interesting? And I hope they do. I hope they feel that their designs can be a bit more liberated. There's some nice stuff here. But what really, really astonishes me is how few designers are actually drawing stuff by hand these days. That, you know, they're relying so much on CAD drawing, and you can tell that. All mine, I do myself in a sketchbook, and then we turn them into wallpaper.
Do you think does that go back to college though now, because it's too easy for students to?
I think it's, you know, I think it's something that we need to watch, because I think as the you know, as the world becomes much more casual about stuff, you know, actually people are going to suddenly turn around and say, no, I want something with a bit of design integrity to it. And when it's yet another pattern ripped off somebody's you know, wrapping paper that someone's just pressed a button with, you know, it ceases to be sexy, basically.
So sexiness is in this
Sexiness with a great big capital S and an even bigger X is the byword for 2008.
Well, watch out for that trend. Thanks very much for taking the time to talk to us.
I wasn't doing anything else. It's fine.
Well, he was fab, and I tell you what, pretty sexy in the flesh as well, ladies. You can see our interview with Laurence again and catch these beautiful grounds here at Bloomfield at channelm.co.uk, and join us next week for more amazing interiors and homes from around the region. We'll see you then.